Greetings, family. Peace and love to you and yours. This is Guru, and thanks for visiting my channel. Well, this video is about some family members and activists who call for actions and the release of police body cam footage in a fatal shooting of a Salt Lake City bicyclist. The man is pictured here. As you can see, he's African American and his name was Patrick Harmon. Let's go to the story. The family members of Patrick Harmon have spoken up, and basically they're saying, quote, they don't care what he did in life. He did not deserve to have his life taken, unquote. Michelle Shaw said after driving nearly 20 hours with her family from their home in St. Louis to Utah to pick up the remains of her uncle, Patrick Harmon. Shaw and her family had driven on dark, rainy roads and slept in the car at a rest stop in Nebraska to get to a rally at the Public Safety Building in Salt Lake City on Saturday afternoon, where some 80 activists had gathered to call for the release of body camera footage from August 13th police action shooting in which her uncle had died. Harmon, 50 years old, had been riding a bicycle at 1002 South State Street about 10:20 p.m. when he was stopped by police. Salt Lake City Police Sergeant Brandon Shearer said in August. He allegedly pulled a weapon on officers who were trying to arrest him on an outstanding felony warrant and was fatally shot. Now, before I move on, I'm going to just state for the record that it is really, really bad when the police, after weeks, have to beg for the police to release video footage of exactly what happened in a murder. The police shouldn't have that kind of leverage ever, but it just goes to show you what type of police state we live in, what type of crooked system we live in, and it's definitely not transparent. There's nothing transparent about the way police do business across America. His sister and nieces arrived at the rally late after getting lost in a city they didn't know. Their arrival revitalized a chilly crowd that was frustrated and tired of asking for more police training. You notice that across America, people, especially black people, are constantly asking. Actually, we've been asking for justice. We haven't been asking for the police to have additional training. That's white people doing that. White people are the ones asking for the police to have additional training. Black people instead are asking for justice. If you see, the difference is quite clear. They try to change the narrative, and when I say they, I mean white supremacists. So if you're one of those people who do that, then you're a white supremacist, and you are who I'm talking about. But black people are fighting for justice. We've always been fighting for justice. As a matter of fact, if it wasn't for black people, America would not be nothing nearly as great as she proclaims to be. Because it is because of black people why there are certain laws that white people cannot get away with doing some of the savage, brutal, inhumane, uncivilized things that they used to do. It is because of black people. And so if you're a person of color, and I mean not black, if you're a person of color, if you're Hispanic, Mexican, Asian, if you're Indian American, whoever you are, you should thank black people for the laws that we have in America today, because it was for the life and humanity of black people why we have civilized laws right now that white people are supposed to be living by. But as you see, they're not living up to their own words. Anyways, I digress. Harmon's family stood together on a platform to address the rallygoers, talking quietly at first. They spoke about their confusion over how the shooting happened. Quote, "We're here to live," Shaw said. "We're not here for violence," unquote. Organizers had gotten in touch with the family after the shooting to invite them to the rally. Lex Scott, founder of civil rights organization United Front, helped coordinate their hotel accommodations in Salt Lake City. Quote, "The family was just blindsided," Scott said, wearing a red baseball hat emblazoned with, quote, "Make racists afraid again," unquote. Activists with Black Lives Matter and Utah Against Police Brutality on Friday staged a call-in to the offices of Salt Lake City Mayor Jackie Biskupski and Police Chief Mike Brown to press for the release of more information, including the footage. Now see, once again, it is a damn shame that black people constantly have to ask the police to release the video footage. I mean, this doesn't even make any sense. The police claim that they want to have transparency, but they're never showing it. It's always just in words. White America has been doing this far too long. They only speak in words, never in deed do they do what they say. Never in deed. It's always in words. It's always been that way. But anyways, it says in August, Brown had said the footage was under review by Salt Lake County District Attorney Sim Gill, and once Gill renders a decision, the video would be released to the public. Quote, "This is about transparency," Scott said. Exactly. And about understanding what happened. Exactly. It's hard not knowing what really happened to your family, Harmon's sister Antoinette Harmon told a Tribune reporter as she wiped tears away from her face. And you see, this is always black families wiping our tears away because white America does not ever want to show us justice. Police haven't released additional details about why Harmon was stopped or the weapon he was carrying, or so-called allegedly carried. So they have not released any kind of information as to why he was stopped, and they have not released any information about the weapon he was allegedly carrying. And see, the article doesn't even use the word alleged. I'm saying the word because that's what I know it should read. But of course, when they're dealing with black people, whenever white supremacists are dealing with black people, they never do the right thing. They never say the right thing. Shaw said she never known her uncle to carry a gun or a knife, adding that she didn't carry a gun because it was too big of a risk. Quote, "Black people are still scared to carry them," Shaw said after the rally as she watched her nieces and nephews play, "because soon the police see us with them, they see a threat, and there you go, getting shot," unquote. The night Harmon was shot, police had used de-escalation tactics. Allegedly, sheriff said. Details of what happened next are unclear, but an officer fired and Harmon was critically injured. Police gave him first aid at the scene, then he was transported to the hospital where he was pronounced dead a short time later, according to sheriff. One officer was placed on paid administrative leave, and can you believe that? Paid administrative leave. God damn. This is so unreal and pathetic. According to Brown, that officer's name has not been released. This is just trash. It's so pathetic. Harmon had moved to Utah in 2000 because he wanted to change his life, Antoinette Harmon said. Quote, "He loved it here," she said. "I just don't understand." Patrick Harmon desired to do better, said Jackie Pace Fivas, whose daughter had dated him. Quote, "Patrick had many wonderful qualities, and he also had his demons," Pace Fivas said. He was a person who was tormented by the constant pull between two sides. At his core, he was a good man. His mother had died while he was in prison. He had 2 children, a daughter and a son, who are both in their 20s, according to Antoinette Harmon. He was a nice man who looked nerdy and had a big belly laugh, said Pace Fivas, adding that Harmon had wanted to get a job helping people with drug problems, but he was stuck in a vicious cycle, she said. Many companies wouldn't hire him, and many landlords wouldn't rent to him because of the felony. He tried to avoid places like the road home where drugs were prevalent, she said. Drugs disrupted Harmon's entire personality, she said. He became more violent and ended up in prison, but he was trying to change, Pace Fivas said, and he was more than his criminal record, Scott said. Quote, black people have the right to make it to trial. We don't care if you have a criminal record a mile long, Scott said. We deserve our day in court. And I'm going to say that one more time. We don't care if you have a criminal record a mile long. We deserve our day in court. That is a fact. Anyways, rest in peace, Brother Harmon. May Patrick Harmon rest in peace. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm going to end this video off here. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.